If you're farming insects for protein, scale is the name of the game, which makes life pretty tough for new market entrants. But if you're mining bugs for higher value functional ingredients, even a tiny startup can potentially compete on a global scale, claims Singapore-based startup Insectta.
Insectta is Singapore's first insect biotech company. In a nutshell, we envision a future where insects power our healthcare and electronics. Our core technology is working with this amazing insect, the black soldier fly, that's a circular solution to food waste, and we take them, extract chitosan and melanin, two high-value biomaterials from them, and instead of using black soldier flies just for feed and fertilizer, we expand their applications to things like personal wellness products, pharmaceuticals, and even organic electronics.
So melanin, what is it and how is it currently sourced?
So melanin is the dark pigment that colors our hair and our skin, but far from being an ordinary pigment, it has captured the attention of the biomedical and organic electronics industries. It conducts electricity, it can heal bones and nerves, and even serve as a radiation protection. So obviously these high-value applications are something very sought after, but they're produced in tiny quantities now from cuttlefish or synthesized in the lab. Commercialization is out of the question, so that's where we come in. We've developed the first process in the world to extract the low-cost, water-soluble melanin in unprecedented quantities.
Okay, so going back to the market opportunity for melanin though, given what you've said about the challenges currently sourcing it from cuttlefish, not being water-soluble, tiny quantities, is there really an established market yet for melanin?
So the melanin market is definitely still developing, right? Many of its applications are stuck in prototype or research stage. So we come in to these amazing creative minds and we say, do your research, create your prototypes. We're here to support your commercialization because we can supply you melanin for hundreds of times cheaper than what you can get on the market now.
Okay, so let's move on to your second ingredient, chitosan. Where does that traditionally come from and why is it beneficial to source it from black soldier flies?
So chitosan is the substance that makes up the hard shells of insects, crustaceans, so shrimps, lobsters and crabs. And it's moisturizing, it's antimicrobial, it's anti-oxidizing, and you'll find it everywhere in your skincare, in your drinks, right? Even in your bandages. The issue with chitosan now is that it's inconsistent. Manufacturers make it from multiple different species with just one process. So every batch differs and manufacturers don't like that. It's also very high in heavy metals. Shrimp and crab are generally very high in that. And we have a clean, heavy metal free, consistent chitosan that comes just from one species, the black soldier fly.
So can you tell me a bit about how your process works?
So our process starts with fermentation with a bacteria called BSF21, a strain we've isolated ourselves. Fermentation helps us remove the minerals from our raw material, black soldier fly cocoon shells. After that, we move on to extracting the chitosan and melanin. First, we remove proteins, extract melanin, and then purify it in a series of steps we protect by trade secret. That's what makes it water soluble. After that, we're left with a substance called chitin, which we convert into chitosan. Now, the last part is pretty interesting. We don't neglect the wastewater treatment. We take all the wastewater generated in the earlier steps, mix them together in a specific ratio, and giving us, firstly, even more products to sell. We get proteins, probiotics, and minerals from this. And secondly, a wastewater that meets Singapore's strict standard for discharge. So we don't farm the insects anymore. We had our history as Singapore's first insect farm, but now we solely focus on processing the chitosan and melanin from the insect. We outsource our farming to the ASEAN region, so near home in Singapore.
I understand you're building a new pilot plant. Where is it and when is it going to be operational?
So great news, our pilot plant is operational as of August 2023 and it's located in the west of Singapore in one of the newest industrial areas. So we've closed 2 rounds, right? And our investors all have backed us, seeing our technology from lab scale now to pilot scale where we've scaled up 30 times, so that's exciting news. Funding initially, I guess, was pretty tough. with this such a niche industry, and we're playing a niche within a niche, the insect industry, when most people are doing feed and fertilizer. But I think people see the value in increasing the applications and expanding the potential of the black soldier fly industry. So in our first seed round, we did have to speak to a lot of people, but for our second round that we just closed in April, that was a little bit easier, but I'm not going to discount the fact that there's a lot of work to do ahead.
So can you tell me about your ambitions for the next 12 to 18 months?
So we're in a big business development phase of our story. We're looking for people, customers, collaborators, contract manufacturers. We want to scale our process, and we want to start integrating black certified chitosan and melanin into commercial applications. So we're looking for people to join us as we scale.